What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Smash JT, and welcome to the next generation of gaming, an all-digital future where games we know and love are getting delisted from digital storefronts. Smash JT. Tales from the Borderlands no longer available to purchase on Steam. All these titles from Telltale will not be allowed to be purchased on GOG anymore. There has been an update. As of later today, according to Eurogamer, 2K Games has confirmed it is working on getting Tales from the Borderlands back on sale as soon as possible. As we reported below, it was recently pulled from Steam and will be removed from GOG on Monday, alongside many other titles from the now-defunct Telltale Games. Now, I'm going to dive into a lot further detail on this in just a second, but I want to take a second here to talk about Telltale Games. They have a fantastic back catalog of a lot of story-driven narrative experiences, and all of their games are starting to slowly get delisted from many PC digital storefronts. This is nothing new from the digital era. We've started losing a lot of games, the most famous probably being Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, but there have been a slew of others in the past due to licensing issues and other reasons as well. This, coming from Telltale Games, is because the studio went under, and apparently nobody has taken charge over the licenses for these titles to continue keeping them on storefronts. First posted to Reddit from Andres Pires, he said that the option to purchase Tales from the Borderlands on Steam has been removed. And here we have the storefront, and it is no longer able to be purchased here, which is really crazy that there was no heads up from Steam that this game was going to be removed. That has got to piss off a lot of people that maybe wanted to play this game prior to Borderlands 3 releasing. According to Kotaku, it was just after midnight this morning. A few hours later, a customer relation representative from GOG posted on the digital marketplace forums that all Telltale Games would soon be leaving the store. Sadly, we need to inform you, due to our company's closure, all remaining Telltale titles will be delisted from our catalog on Monday, May 27th, 10 a.m. Some other Telltale games soon to be removed from GOG include Wolves Among Us, Marvel's Guardian of the Galaxy, Batman the Telltale series. Those are some heavy hitters, some of the biggest games that Telltale ever made. We've received an official agreement termination and title takedown notice for all Telltale titles, and we are processing it within the appropriate time frame. Now, who the hell would send an official agreement termination and title takedown notice for these Telltale games? That is interesting. With the exception of Tales from Borderlands, the rest of the games are still available on Steam, who did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Tales from the Borderlands, apart from being a great game, has also become newly relevant after Gearbox, run by 2K, announced that Borderlands 3 story will pick up where the events of Tales from the Borderlands left off. When contacted by Kotaku, 2K declined to elaborate on why the game is being removed in the first place. That is quite the mystery right now. All we have is information that these companies, Steam and GOG, had received a takedown notice. They're not explaining why that happened, they're just saying it happened. Tales from the Borderlands was developed and published by Telltale Games in 2014 under license from 2K. Following layoffs of hundreds of employees without severance, which we all remember that fun experience, last fall, and Telltale's subsequent closure, it's unclear what will become of the rest of its games still being sold and whether their removal from some stores is only temporary or could end up being indefinite. Welcome, everyone, to this fantastic all-digital future that we're enjoying right now. Several former Telltale employees Kotaku spoke with said they had no idea why some games, like Tales from the Borderlands, are now being delisted, but their uncertain future has been newly demoralizing to some. Said one former Telltale developer, seeing games they crunched over and poured their hearts into suddenly disappear from the universe is a huge gut punch. I can tell you guys personally, from working in the video game industry, some of the hours at crunch time I worked on some of the games over at Sony, that would really hurt if some of the games I worked on got delisted, because there were hundreds and hundreds of man hours overnight experiences we had at these games, and seeing them get delisted, that just really, really sucks. But such is the reality that we're living in the world today. Here's the official statement from GOG's team, the customer service rep. Sadly, we need to inform you that due to the company's closure, all the remaining Telltale titles will be delisted. And they list them here. Wolf Among Us, which was one of the most popular Telltale games ever. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, Hector, Badge of Carnage, the Batman series, another huge Telltale series of games, Sam and Max, Puzzle Agent, Tales from the Borderlands, and Strong Bad's Cool Game for Attractive People. And that last one I'm not very familiar with. But here we go with them saying that Tales from the Borderlands is the only one that anybody is concerned on getting it back up. And the only reason they are is because 2K Games is going to be releasing Borderlands 3. And they have stated that that builds directly off the storyline ending in Tales from the Borderlands. So it would behoove them to get that game back up and available on every storefront possible prior to the release of a gigantic game with Borderlands 3. For everyone who purchased any of these said titles prior to delisting, the games will remain in their GOG library, so they can assumedly re-download them in the future if they ever lose them or get a new computer. That's assuming GOG keeps them up on their servers, and who knows how long that will last for. This really, really sucks. Like, I hate hearing this kind of news in the video game industry. I hate seeing companies sell items and then remove them and basically take advantage of the customers. People who might have started on a series and not finished it, or might have purchased a game and not able to get it again in the future because it's delisted, and then the company eventually stops holding it in their library for you to re-download it. So it just sucks for everybody. And like I said, in the video game industry, the time that these people put into these games, that is just awful that these games get delisted, which is why I try to stick to physical games as often as possible. Not always available, which is kind of the problem. It's a double-edged sword with the digital world, because more games are available to customers because companies don't have to focus on spending money making things physical. Lots of indie developers are able to flourish in this environment. So yes, there are good reasons for digital games, but here we have the bad side of things, and it's truly unfortunate. It reminds me of games on phones when you purchase them and then they upgrade the operating system, and then they don't work on the next operating system. Even though you spent money on the game, you're not allowed to play it anymore. That's kind of what's going on with the digital future. You spend money on games and then they disappear, or in this case, you don't even get to buy the games if you don't buy it in time, because it just disappears. Hopefully not for good, but who knows? There's no proof of anything being done on any of these games outside of Tales from the Borderlands. As far as the original Reddit post from Andreas Pires, they said, damn, anywhere else to get it? And you can still purchase some of these games at Humble Bundle, Microsoft, but it's not the Steam version, and GOG until Monday, but they will be working on getting Tales of Borderlands back up on that one. Here's the problem, though. These games aren't guaranteed on any of these platforms forever, and that's my point with this whole thing, and this is proof of it right now. Telltale Games went under with that huge clusterfuck of a situation last year that we all dealt with people losing their jobs out of nowhere, and now here we are finding ourselves, the games are slowly starting to get delisted from storefronts digitally, and it is terrible. Terrible. Over on the Epic Games Store, there's no change in availability so far for any of the Telltale's Walking Dead seasons. I'm not seeing any obvious removals on either the Xbox or PlayStation storefronts either, but this may change on Monday. I have a strong suspicion that if it's getting removed from Steam and GOG, that it will also be getting removed from Xbox and PlayStation storefronts. Just a sneaking suspicion. Nothing that's actually been put in writing here, but based off of past experience with how licenses and games work, it would make more sense for that to be the case, which is awful, but I'm just saying that's my gut feeling here. Disappearance of Tales from Borderlands is a particular surprise, given the impending launch of Borderlands 3, which features some of its characters. I've asked 2K if it has any plans on picking up publishing duties. Many of Telltale's older series were removed from sale already, back from when the company went from liquidation. Steam lost Tales of Monkey Island, Jurassic Park game, and Back to the Future game, among others, back in November of last year. Wow. Let's see what people have to say about this. Here's hoping there'll be a sale the weekend. I wouldn't hold your breath, Plumbus. So, like, if you own them on Steam, they aren't going away the 27th. Just can't buy them anymore. Exactly. So, yeah. Fair warning to anybody who wants to play these Telltale games on Steam or GOG, or most likely PlayStation and Xbox and anywhere else going forward. There is no guarantee of any of them being available after Monday, May 27th, 2019. So, do with that information what you will. Terrible news about Telltale Games getting delisted from a lot of digital storefronts. And we will see where this news goes going forward. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.